What's up, everybody? Today on the show, we're going to do a little guitar safari, Facebook Marketplace. All right, so one thing that I promised everybody was that I was going to show you how I go about doing my guitar trading, where I look, how I get some deals, how I communicate with people, and stuff like that. So there are three main areas that I like to look at when looking for a guitar or a piece of gear or equipment or something like that. The two major places are going to be Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Those are the two major places because for two reasons. Number one, I typically don't have to pay shipping because normally I deal with local people. And number two, I don't have to pay sales tax. Okay. When you're dealing with local people, a lot of times they'll just take cash or you can just pay them through Venmo or PayPal and you don't have to pay any sales tax. Reverb is great if you want to buy something new, or if there's a shop you like to buy from that you know you can haggle with or make a deal with. Sometimes, and sometimes maybe Reverb doesn't want to know this, but sometimes, like if it's a store that, like a physical, like brick and mortar store that happens to have a Reverb page, sometimes I've called the store directly. Like that's happened where I saw a guitar online on Reverb. It was this White Falcon I have, and the guy wanted, like, I think $2,000 for it, which was a really good price for. No, maybe it was 2,500 for a White Falcon. It's a really good deal, and it was going to be, it was coming from New Jersey. It was going to be $125 shipping, plus it was going to be 9% sales tax because I live in Tennessee. But what I noticed was, like, I looked at from the seller and it said, JJ's Guitar Shop in New Jersey, whatever. So I just looked up JJ's Guitar Shop. I did a Google search, and it was the same picture of the same guitar from a real brick and mortar store. So I just called up the store and I was like, hey, I saw this guitar in your Reverb store. Think we can work something out? And we did. It was great. But that is the downfall of Reverb, right? That it charges you sales tax. And it takes fees from you when you're selling, right? So you inherently have to sell higher than probably what your guitar is worth, just so you can make up the 7% fees. So you're going to pay a premium on Reverb, plus you're going to pay the sales tax and the shipping and whatever else. But let's take a look at Facebook Marketplace. So I'm just going to bring up my local Facebook Marketplace and show you guys how I go about this. This is a part of my everyday life. I am constantly on Facebook Marketplace throughout the day on my phone or on the computer, and I'm always looking for something. And sometimes I'm just going to refresh this because I brought this up a couple of days ago. And typically I have something that I want, right? There's something that I have my eye on. Or there's a particular piece or piece of gear, guitar that I want, that I'm looking for. As of right now, I don't necessarily have anything in mind that I necessarily want. However, if a J45 happens to show up at a decent price, I don't mind, trying to make a deal for something like that. Because if you've watched the past two episodes, you'd know that I traded away a J45 to get that white American Professional 2 Telecaster that I've had on the show the past two shows, right? So I traded away a J45 and a Les Paul Standard that I got from the Gibson demo shop on Reverb, and I traded both of those for a R7 Gold Top. If you want to know how I brokered that trade, you can go on and check out my other videos. I'll link them at the end of this video if you want to check that out. So what I typically do, just go to Marketplace and I set in a 60-mile radius of where I live. So I'm in Spring Hill, Tennessee, which is about 35 miles south of Nashville. It's where the red dot is. And I set it to about 60 miles, which is pretty good. That gets me to the border of Alabama, gets me up to the border of Kentucky. And it gets me a pretty good distance. This is a pretty good drive. If I had to drive to the border of Alabama or Kentucky, it's going to take me at least an hour and a half to get to each one of those places. And a lot of times, if you meet people on Facebook, they're very willing to meet you halfway. So I hit apply for that, and I just type in guitar if I'm just scanning, or if I want something in particular, I can type in J45, something like that. But let's just take a look, see what they have. Okay, a lot of some low end stuff. Not really looking for stuff that's lower end. A lot of this stuff seems to be kind of cheap. We could go the other way if I scroll a lot and I see, wow, this is a lot of just kind of cheaper stuff that I'm not really into. What's this? Les Paul guitar. I guarantee this is an Epiphone, right? It's got to be an Epiphone. Les Paul standard. Nah, something's wrong here, boys and girls. Very nice copy. Okay, there you go. He was honest. I was gonna say that serial number is way too like, it looks almost like laser etched. Okay, Gibson doesn't laser etch their serial numbers; they stamp them, so they're not always as visible as something like that. And that takes away the finish. See that laser etching, what they do here? It kind of takes the finish away, so you see the bare wood behind it. Or maybe they silk screen it. I'm not sure. It looks like a laser etch though, because these numbers are too perfect. But on a Gibson, they'll just stamp it in, so you won't lose the finish that's on top of it. So the color of the numbers will still be the same color as the guitar. Okay, we might have to alter our search a little bit. A lot of times I won't even put guitar. I'll just go to Marketplace because it knows I look at guitars. So it just brings up stuff automatically. But then I'll throw some other stuff in there. I'll throw some RVs and things like that. Whoa, give you some of that too. Books, musical instruments. Let's see if I click on see all for musical instruments, see what that brings me. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. This has been on here for a while. This has piqued my interest a couple of times. There is, I don't know if anybody out there likes Blackberry Smoke, but I am a very big Blackberry Smoke fan. I'm a big fan of Charlie Starr. And Gibson just came out with a Charlie Starr signature model. It's a Les Paul Jr. So for those of you who don't know, there's something called a Les Paul Jr. and there's something called Les Paul Special. The only difference between the two is that a Junior has one pickup, and it's typically a P90, like a dog ear P90 with the pickup that's kind of drilled right into the body. And then you have the Special, which is the same exact guitar, except that has two pickups. It's the same thing though. No binding on the body. No maple top. I think it's just one piece of mahogany, or it might be a two-piece mahogany body. Rosewood board with dot inlays. You're not going to get the fancy trapezoids or the blocks like you do on the standards or the customs or the deluxes. And it's a real simple guitar, and they sound phenomenal. So I had my eye on this one for a while because it's a decent price. You know, it's $12.25. It looks like it's in mint condition. It says excellent condition with hard shell case. Original. That's what that means, by the way, for those of you who see that term and don't know what it means. Original hard shell case. And this person says, just thinning the herd, trades possible, cash preferred. Okay. Now, the only reason I'm not going to email this guy right now and offer a trade to him, I'm assuming it's a him, John, yeah, is because I traded for a vintage Les Paul Special. It's a 1977 double cut, which will be on the show. It's going to have its own episode, so I don't want to tell you too much about that. But I traded with somebody for a 1977 all original double cut Les Paul Special. So it's the only reason I'm not calling this guy right now. But that is a good deal. If someone out there is looking for one, what do these go for new? So that's one thing I like to do, right? If I want to make sure it's a good deal, if I want to double check to see if it's a good deal, I'll go on and I'll go to Sweetwater, and I'll go there and I'll type in, Les Paul Special. Okay, let me switch my screen here for you so you see what I'm searching. Okay, if you go in, there it is. There's the same guitar that person is selling online, right? And if you were to go to Sweetwater, which is a great company, I highly, if you're going to buy new guitars at one of these retail giants, I definitely suggest you go to Sweetwater. My guy, his name is Ben Robinson. He's my expert. Okay, This guy's not my expert, but I'm sure he's fine. I'm not signed in with my account or anything. That's why. If I signed into my account, this would be Ben Robinson. Really, really good dude. Helps me out a lot with all my stuff. Really, really loves to work with you. Knows how to sell a guitar too. Knows how to sell a guitar. I got stories about Ben that I'll tell you. But if you were to buy this new, it's $17.99 plus tax. No shipping. They're not going to charge you shipping on that. But it is, it's $1,800 plus tax, and depending on where you live, that could range. Where I live, it's like almost 10%. So it's, you're looking at, $175, $165 in tax for me. For you, it might be a little lower. For you, it might be a little higher. I don't know where you live or what your sales tax number is, but mine's pretty high. They do have open boxes for $16.19, so that's better, right? And then you can finance it if they're doing a special or something like that. Okay, but same guitar, right? And you could save yourself close to $600 if you were to get it on Facebook Marketplace from this gentleman, right? You could save yourself $600. You can definitely get this guy down, right? Whenever I post something on Facebook, I always go up maybe $100 or $200 so I can have some wiggle room if somebody wants to haggle with me. I bet if you message this guy, excuse me, I bet if you message this guy and say, would you take $1,000, he'd take it from you. Okay. And if not, he'd definitely take 11. There's very rare that I ever throw an offer at a person and they get so insulted that they don't want to talk to me. I never lowball someone all that much, but if this person wants $1,225, I think they'd be willing to take $100 less. You can probably get that for $1,100, but that's a good deal if somebody wants that one out there. It's in Kingston Springs, Tennessee. What else we got? ESPs. I don't know anything about those. My brother has one of those. 2008 Fender 50 Strat Fiesta Red, sorry. Made in Mexico. I only buy American-made Fenders and Gibsons. So there's nothing wrong with a Mexican-made Fender. One of the best tellies I ever had was a Mexican-made Telecaster. It was a thin line with the two humbuckers in it, and it was one of the best playing guitars I ever had. And I miss the fact that I regret the fact that I sold it. But for $950, I just think that for that price, for this price range, you can get yourself an American Strat. I've bought like vintage American Strats for $950. Okay, they might not be mint. This one might be real mint, but I can get you can definitely get one from the 90s or the 80s for not much more than that, right? It might be a little beat up, okay, but it wouldn't be too far off. We'll probably find one on here. What's this one? 76 Fender Strat, all black, $1,750. I think that's a little, well, I don't know. I'm not a Strat person. I'm definitely a Telly person. I only have one Stratocaster just because I feel like I need to have one. I mean, a vintage Strat, probably less than $2,000, probably isn't an awful deal. What do we have here? This guitar is definitely a player. 76 body, neck, and bridge. So all right, so this isn't even all original. The body has a hole under the pick guard. The neck had a headstock break. All right, I think this is way too much for this guitar, just in my opinion. Replaced tuners. The neck was also reshaped into a soft V, so they carved this neck. It was broken. You got missing parts. I think this is way overpriced for what it is. Just my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, you let me know, but I think that's overpriced. Martin OM. I want one of these. I'm not necessarily an OM, but I would like a 0018 or 0028, one of those smaller, thinner bodies. I would like one of those. Everything I have is either a Dreadnought or a Jumbo. But I would want one that's all real wood. This one kind of looks like it's some of that composite stuff. Looks like there's a nice seam in the front here. This is honestly one of the best playing Koosas I've ever owned. Just thinning out the herd. Everyone's thinning out the herd. It's Christmas time. You should be building up the herd. Am I right? Cherry back and sides, gold hardware. This one had a top crack repair. Yep, top crack repair. That's going to stop people from buying it. Doesn't necessarily stop me from buying it. I won't buy vintage acoustics because I'm afraid of that stuff. But I will definitely buy an electric that had a headstock repair. It's fine with me. 70s Guild guitar. Don't sleep on these, people. Guild is a great company. I got myself a 1983 Guild 12-string acoustic that will have its own episode as well because I acquired that in a trade. But these old American-made Guilds, these are great guitars. They sound great. Looks like a hummingbird's or a dove type of body shape. Those square shoulders on it. These are nice. Has one broken string. Only serious inquiries only. Won't respond to this is available. Good on you. All right. Sonic Blue Strat. That's got to be Mexican made. It's cheap. That'd be my guess. This guy's been trying to sell these guitars for a while. So he has a couple of guitars on this one listing. Same a couple of cool Gibsons. He's got a 60s reissue Les Paul Standard, a 2005 Guitar Center 60 reissue Les Paul Standard, wants $34.50. He has a Southern Jumbo near mint, wants $3,000. Cash only, no trades, and yes, they are available. It's a nice Southern Jumbo, but I don't have $3,000, and I don't have anything I could trade to get it. I would rather a J45. Get them a little cheaper. They sound just as good. 1969 Hummingbird. Ooh, what a video. That's a nice piece. That's a nice guitar. Top has been repaired and refinished. Oh, see, that brings it down for me. It's got these lines in the top. See all these lines? Looks like the New York Yankees. Pinstripes. Now for $4,000, you're close to getting you can almost get a new one for that. Let's see what Sweetwater has. Hummingbird. Let's see. You can get a brand new one for $4,000. So why would you buy this, guys? Let me share the screen here. Sweetwater. You can get a brand new one. Brand spanking new. No repairs, no pinstriping. Is it going to take time to break in? Sure. Are you going to have to play it a lot to open up the wood? Yeah. But it's going to sound great right out of the case, and it's only going to get better with age. And it's not going to split as long as you keep it in, a humidified environment and you take care of it. And if it breaks because you play it, then it's your blood and sweat and tears that went into that repair. I don't know. I don't think I would go for an older Hummingbird for that price over a new one, unless it just sounds absolutely phenomenal. But that's up there. This guy, I love this. This is a good dude. If you're in Nashville and you want to trade stuff, this guy's a good dude. Tom Anderson. He has a whole store's worth of stuff here. He's got lots of stuff, and I've traded a bunch of stuff with this guy. And he's very reasonably priced. And he knows what he wants, and he knows what he wants to get for things, and he doesn't really budge much on his price. He'll budge a little bit. But he's not looking to break even on a trade, and rightly so. This is like his side hustle, and he always does. He's always done good by me. I've traded with him, and he's bought stuff straight up from me where I put stuff on Facebook, and he just calls me up or emails me and says, "Hey, would you take, $1,500 for that or $2,000 for that?" And he just bought stuff. And then he, later that day, I see it listed on here. So I know he's not keeping it. I know he's going to sell it and flip it. But if you want to get rid of something real quick, he's probably the guy to call up. I can't believe this hasn't sold. I almost want to buy this just for the heck of it. But he's had this up there for a while. It says only 4 days ago, but he's like, you can renew the listings after like a week or two. And I can't believe this hasn't sold. $1,150 for this is a really good deal. And like I said, I'm sure I think he would take I think he would take 1050. He would take $100 off this price. 2023 Gibson Les Paul Jr. hard case, stock, surface scratches, no brakes. He'll meet you at places. He's in Nashville, but he always meets me about 25 minutes outside of Nashville because I'm about almost an hour away. So he meets me all the time. He's a really good guy. Whoever gets this guitar is going to have a really good, fun time with it. These Les Paul Juniors are phenomenally fun to play. They're so much fun to play. I still can't believe that's available. Yeah, he's got some cool stuff. He's had the Standard for a while. I think people don't want black Standards. They want black Customs. I think the black Standard is just, you don't see it very often. You see a lot of the bursts in the Standards or gold tops. You don't see black a lot. So 2000 might be a little bit much for that one. Not that I think it's not worth it. I think it's worth $2,000. I just don't think, I don't think it's going to move for $2,000. He's got some cool stuff. He's got some cool amps on there. He's had this SG up there for a while too. That's a good price on a classic. That's a good price. Got to get the dust off him. Got to clean that up if you want to sell it. This, I don't know where he got this from, but this is a tree. I'm a sucker for a Les Paul Custom. And it's very rare that you see a triple humbucker custom in cherry. Typically you see them in black, in ebony, right? The black beauties. And a lot of times they have the gold Bigsby on them. And this appears to have chrome or nickel hardware. And it's a custom shop. I wonder if the person changed it from gold, because normally these come with all gold hardware. All the pickup covers and the bridge and the saddles and the stop bar and the tuners, those are typically on these guitars all gold. No matter what color you get. But sometimes you can get them with stock chrome or stock nickel. But I want to say this is probably a custom order. Let's see what it says here. For sale, 2017 Les Paul Custom Shop, Cherry Sunburst. Original case, certificate, mint condition, plays, sounds amazing, ready for the studio. It doesn't say if it was a custom order, because I've never, to be honest, I've never seen a production one that had 3 pickups in it. I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. I love learning about this stuff too. But man, I wish I have a black custom, and actually traded a cherry custom, a vintage cherry custom, for the black custom, because I like the black ones better. But if I could have both of them, that'd be great too. But I don't have anything to trade for that. I'd have to give cash on top, and it's Christmas season, and I just don't have it right now. He's got some cool stuff. There's a couple of people on here I deal with all the time. Really good people on here. Sometimes you find people that aren't so nice, but it's rare. You meet a lot of nicer people than you do not nice people on here. As long as you're nice. If you're a jerk, they're going to be a jerk back. That's for sure. Epiphones. Got some orange amps. Speaker cabinets. Rickenbacker bass. I would love a Rick bass. I don't play bass though, but I would love to have one. I'm a big Beatles fan. I got a couple of Beatles guitars. I've sold a lot of Beatles guitars, unfortunately. I saw on here, I'm going to go to actually, I'm not on the right account. I'm going to go to Gretsch White Panther. I saw one of these on earlier today. I wonder if it's still there, or did someone snatch it up? Someone might have snatched it up. Oh, wait, I didn't go to the top. Let's see. White Falcon acoustic, Rich Fortis White Falcon. Someone might have bought it. I gotta check my phone here, because it was on my phone when I saw it. It's under a different account. No, it's still there. Gretsch White Panther. I wonder why it's not coming up. Where is it located? It's located in Franklin, which is like only 15, 20 minutes from me. I'm surprised it's not showing up. Maybe it'll show up as we scroll. For those of you who don't know what a White Panther is, it looks like a White Falcon double cut. It's basically Gretsch's response to an ES335 with the center block, solid center block. I'm not sure if the lower bout is shrunk on it. Can't believe it's not coming up. It says it's still for sale. Oh, that's a good deal. $1,800 for a 2022 standard, Les Paul standard. Look at that. That's a beautiful top. This person got it from the demo shop too. I love shopping at the demo shop. We're going to do a whole show just looking at the demo shop. Because normally these guitars are like $2,700, $2,800. A couple months, they just lowered the price on them not too long ago. Yeah, it's a pretty one. That's a good looking one. It's got that. It's gonna have that slim '60s neck on it. I love cherry sunburst Les Pauls. You don't get much cooler than that. Look at this. Is this the same guy? This is the same dude. Selling both of them. 2022 50s and tobacco. That's a good looking one too. Not as nice as the cherry one, but the same guy. I wonder if he got this one at the demo shop. Just like all the Les Pauls I have the privilege to pick up. I did a full tear down and clean up on this one. That's a good price, man. $1,800 for a basically new standard. That's a good price. Really good price. He's in Georgia. If anybody's interested in that. I can't believe that White Panther's not coming up. Oh, the Billy Duffy White Falcon for all those cult fans out there. I'm a big cult fan. But he didn't use this. When he was coming up in the cult, he didn't use this model. I mean, he used the model, but his signature model has silver appointments. But the one he played had all gold appointments. And if I'm going to play Billy Duffy's guitar, I want to play the guitar that Billy Duffy is famous for. He's not famous for this one. He's famous for the one with the gold parts, which is the one I have. Still cool, though. Still going to sound amazing. Gretsch Tennessee Rose. I want one of these with the fake F holes like George Harrison had. See, this one has real F holes. The one George played had painted on F holes. Are those? Yeah, those look real, right? Those look like real F holes. Yeah, those are real. Yeah, I want one with the fake F holes. And they're usually reasonably priced because they're not the country gentlemen's. Those are the ones that are really sought after. Here's a Black Falcon. I've talked to this guy about this guitar a bunch of times. This is one of those double cuts. Beautiful guitar. Absolutely gorgeous guitar. This thing rips like a 335. Everything that I play typically has a lot of distortion on it. So these Filtertron pickups are more my speed. That's why I'm not a Strat guy. I like more of a humbucker type of tone. But I do love me a Telly. Look at this thing. Ace Frehley ripoff guitar. It's pretty cool. Man, I wish I find that White Panther up here. Ooh, what's this? 1965 Gretsch Tennessean. That's a 6119 right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's a real old one, though. Problem with these old Gretsches, I don't know what the formula was for their binding, but all of these old Gretsches get something called binding rot, which is where I don't know if it's exposure to the sun or if it's something that happens when it's in the case. I've heard that a lot too, that the chemicals react to the case lining. Because I have a 1964 6120 and I don't keep it in the case. I keep it on the wall, and its binding is in very, very good shape, knock on wood. But you can see here's a big chunk taken out. It just falls out. And it doesn't affect the playability of the guitar at all, but it just doesn't make it look nice. And you can get it repaired and replaced, but it costs a lot of money, I think. And it's a shame because these guitars, you can get them for really cheap prices because of the binding rot. Are you ready to channel your spirit of the 60s? Play like a legend. Yeah, Sound of the Beatles. $2,200. That's a good price. Where is he? New Lebanon, Ohio. See, now when you're dealing with someone out of state, so this person's out of state for me, obviously. Trading with someone like this would be difficult. I have traded with people out of state before. I've traded with somebody in Kansas, traded a couple of Rickenbackers with a guy in Kansas, and I traded with somebody in Missouri for the Les Paul special that I have. So it can be done. I've also traded with somebody in Florida. Now, it takes a lot of trust to trade with somebody without any protection from, say, like a PayPal or something like that. You can, if you wanted to, pay through PayPal and, you know, you make a receipt, but then that person pays fees when you pay them or vice versa. But that is a nice guitar. I would love to have that in my collection. I had a guitar up for sale and somebody emailed me because he saw a guitar in the background that he wanted. He was like, I'll give you 2 guitars for that one. And he was offering me a 64 6119, just like this, with 0 binding rot, and a 64 Country Gentleman for both of those for my one guitar. I have a 1967 ES330. It's basically a Casino, but it's the Gibson model of a Casino. And he was willing to give me both of those guitars for my one. And I said no. But that's a good price, $2,200 for that in Ohio. Let's see. I'm gonna email him. Open to trades at all. That's all I gotta do. Just plant the seed. That's all. See what he says. He's either gonna say nope. A lot of people just give me one-word answers. Nope. A lot of people just ignore me. Some people say, what do you got? Depends on what you got. And then we go from there. But man, that White Panther, the elusive White Panther, thought it would come up. Maybe if I take out the Gretsch part. White Panther. It's in the title. No, that made it worse. I'm really surprised at that. Well, they stopped making White Panthers. They only made them for a couple of years, and then they discontinued them. But it basically looks like this. Looks like that, but it has a panther on the pick guard instead of a falcon. But it's got all the appointments. It's got all the cool stuff that a white falcon might have. I think it's silver binding instead of gold. Let's see if I can. I'm not gonna be able to show you here, but oh no, it doesn't have the silver binding. It's got like triple, or like it's got like the Gibson custom style binding. It's a cool looking guitar. You don't see them very often. That's why I'd be interested in trading for that. I was hoping it would come up, but that's okay. We're gonna do one more search. Do another search for a J45 because, like I said, I had to get rid of. I've tried. This guy's dropping it to 17. Absolutely no trades, and this guy ain't lying. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried, and I don't care that it's cherry. I don't care that it's cherry. That's okay. I don't mind that. Traditionally, these things have like that tobacco burst or tobacco sunburst, whatever it is. But I don't mind a cherry one. $1,700. That's a good price. I had one of these. This is the one I traded. Mine was wine red. It was one of those 60s models with the adjustable saddles. Sounded great, but I got a beautiful R7 gold top out of it. That one's $4,000. That's a custom shop. I like the guys that put up the videos. That's a custom shop. It's a nice one. This is a nice one too. I have a Black Dove, and this would go well with that, but he's not interested in trades either. I tried with this guy too. Here's one, Tullahoma. Have I ever emailed this guy? I'm not sure. He doesn't even say anything about it. He just says conditions used like new. Oh, I think this was this lady is selling it for her late husband, I think. Yeah. So they need the money. You find a lot of that. Sadly, you find a lot of that. What's this one? $1,800. Highlander pickup, stereo mic input inside, Grover tuners, mono, case, no trades. Florence, Alabama. I bought a truck in Florence, Alabama once. Old pickup truck, 1978 F100. I don't see any J45s. Maybe if this guy comes down a little more, maybe I'll put something up for sale. That's the thing, though. Right now, I don't really have anything I want to trade away. I really don't have any low-hanging fruit right now. So I'm just going to be telling you stories and looking. If something really comes up that strikes my fancy, I might have to do something about it. But as of right now, don't really have something. So, well, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Tell me if you saw something you liked. I wouldn't mind brokering a deal if you needed me to. Just let me know. And if you want to trade with me, if you hear me say a guitar that you want to trade with me, by all means, email me. Get me in the comments. You can contact me on Instagram at Guitar Gear Trader if you wanted to. I do, if you wouldn't mind, hitting subscribe, hitting the bell, leaving comments, all that kind of stuff really helps the videos get seen by other people. And I like doing these videos. I like doing these a lot. I need someone to talk to about guitars. My wife doesn't want to listen to me. So I need some other people to talk to about it. So like I said, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at Guitar Gear Trader. And you can email me there if you have any questions or comments. And I appreciate you guys watching. And I'll see you on the next one.